When we start our 1-point perspective drawing, we're going to start with a horizon line. So that is this horizontal line that goes straight across the page. And this one will be slightly lower than center. So have the students use a ruler and draw the line across. And also do the vanishing point here off to the right-hand side, somewhat near this edge. And this vanishing point overlaps with the horizon line. Having a vanishing point when we do perspective is necessary. Sometimes the horizon line we don't need. So for example, if you're drawing something floating, you wouldn't need the horizon line. But with this is the landscape. So we do need the line that separates the sky from the land. Once we have these two things done, then we're going to start with a 3" by 3" square and have your students draw that over to the left-hand side, slightly overlapping your horizon line. So you can see that this goes over the horizon line like that. If your students have trouble using a ruler to measure 3" by 3", that's fine. Take some time, help them learn that new skill, because art and math really do combine. So it's good to slow down and show students how to use a ruler to draw straight lines and create a specific shape. Once you have your square drawn, then we start to think about how this square becomes a cube. The front of it is facing us, so it's exactly like it is, but the sides of it are going away back into space towards the vanishing point. In order to get that look, we're going to connect our ruler from one corner of the square to the vanishing point and draw a straight line. We're going to do that with the bottom corner as well. So all of a sudden we have this square that now becomes a cube going back way, way, way into space. Since we're doing a building that does not have an infinite wall, we need to stop that wall. And we're going to be using a vertical line to do that. So we simply go from one of those angled lines down to the other, and that shows us where the wall ends. Later on, we're going to be erasing all of these extra lines, especially the one also behind the building. So remind them to draw lightly so it's easier to erase. Now we have a cube in front of us, but this cube is not yet a building. So let's start adding that roof. Let's talk about the oils as we show students how to do this. So we're going to be using a curved line on one corner and a curved line that is a mirror image of the one on the left. Now we're also going to do a curved line here, but how is it going to be different than the ones in the front? Will it be bigger, smaller, the same? We know that as things go back into space, they get smaller. So this curve will be smaller than the ones that we just did because it goes back away from us. Now we're going to connect these curved lines with one long curve from corner to corner. And this curve that goes back is kind of going towards that vanishing point, but of course it doesn't touch it. It's going to stop here at the back of that wall. So now we have the beginning of a building. We have this bottom story, we have the next roof. And if you're running out of time, if it took the students a long time to learn how to use a ruler and to add these things, then the next step could just be to add the final roof. If you're running kind of to the end of your half an hour, you could do a dot in the center and connect again with your curved lines to this dot, just like that. If this kind of would show up, I can add a bit of a curved line back there showing how it would connect with that, but part of it is hidden behind this front line. So this is a way to quickly complete the drawing if you're running out of time. Then you can add some details in a small landscape. However, if you do have some more time, we can add a second story to our pagoda and allow the students to repeat back to us the skills that they've just learned. So I would say, now if we want to add another level to it, what would we do just like we did in that first step? What shape would we start with? Last time they started with a square, so I'm going to do the same thing, but this is going to be a shorter square. It's going to be more of a rectangle. So I'm going to start with the same idea of a flat shape in front, and it's going to be the same width as the one below it, just a little bit shorter. So after we did the square, what was the next thing we wanted to draw? We wanted to draw the side that goes back away towards the vanishing point. So how are we going to do that here? Well, we connected the corner and drew a line to the vanishing point. So let's do the same thing. And hopefully the students are able to talk through and figure this out somewhat on their own. So we're going to do another line to the vanishing point. This one goes on forever, but we want it to stop. So let's go ahead and see what we can do. We can add a vertical line that stops the wall there. So now we've just repeated the same steps here, and we've done it on a second level. Hopefully this time the students being able to take some ownership of those steps. What did we do? We added the roof. We added some curved lines on each side. The curve in the back is smaller because it goes towards the vanishing point. And then we've done some curves that connect these, and this one goes away from us towards that vanishing point as well. So probably this has taken a lot of time. So we're definitely going to add the final roof. So we're going to go to the middle with our finger, pull up and do a dot there, and then use our curved lines to go to that dot, just like that. And then the students can begin to add details. They can add an interesting spire on top. On the front, they can use their ruler to just do basic shapes that look like a door or some type of interesting designs happening there. But where it gets tricky is on these sides where things vanish to the vanishing point. Any type of vertical lines the students want to do remain vertical. They just go between those converging lines. The tricky part is when we want to do sideways lines. These need to line up from a point to the vanishing point still because they go back away from us. So the students can continue to practice, these skills of connecting this to the vanishing point and getting the idea of it going back away from us, back into space. And if there was time, they could add some sort of seasonal landscape with trees or mountains and a sun, whatever they felt like doing. Again, this perspective drawing might take a lot of time, and so anything extra is optional. Whether they color it or not is totally based on the amount of time left in class.